So today we are going to study the back of forearm. Right now, we have already studied the front of forearm, and front of forearm had flexors of race, flexors of metacarpophalangeal joint, flexors of interphalangeal joints. Okay, so front of forearm had that. Now back of forearm will have extensors. It will have extensors of wrist, metacarpophalangeal joint, and interphalangeal. The names will be quite correspondingly similar. Like for example, let us see what are there, the anterior flexor muscles. There were 5 superficial and 3 deep muscles. The 5 superficial muscles were pronator, teres. So in the extensor compartment, there will be no corresponding pronator muscle, but there will be supinator. Okay. Then there was flexor carpi radialis. In the extensor compartment, there will be extensor carpi radialis, but longus, and extensor carpi radialis brevis. Then there was flexor digitorum. And here there is extensor digitorum. Okay. Along with extensor digitorum, there are some other muscles also. And these other muscles are some of the digits, they have separate extensors. Extensor, like here we had flexor digitorum superficialis and profundus. In the extensor compartment, there is only extensor digitorum. But instead of having profundus, we have some other things like extensor digiti minimi. This is for the little finger, and extensor indicis. Then there was palmaris longus. No such nothing is there for palmaris longus in the extensor compartment. Then there was flexor carpi radialis. Yeah, for flexor carpi radialis, there is extensor, ulnaris, flexor carpi ulnaris. Radialis we have already seen. Then there were 2 extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis. In flexor carpi ulnaris, there is extensor carpi ulnaris, same. So this will cause, flexor carpi radialis will cause flexion. This will cause extension, but both of them together will cause abduction. Abduction because they are on the radial side. This will cause flexion. Extensor carpi ulnaris will cause extension, but both of them together will cause adduction because they are on the medial aspect. So the adduction movement will be caused by flexor carpi ulnaris, extensor carpi ulnaris. Abduction movement will be caused by flexor carpi radialis and extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis. Flexion will be caused by flexor carpi radialis and flexor carpi ulnaris both, and extension will be caused of the wrist will be caused by extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis and extensor carpi ulnaris. Okay, so both radialis together will cause abduction, both ulnaris together will cause adduction, both flexors together will cause flexion, both extension together will cause extension. Then there were deep muscles, right? There were some deep muscles in this compartment, and these deep muscles were flexor digitorum profundus. We already seen that there is no deep, there is only flexor extensor digitorum. Then there is pronator quadratus, there is supinator over here. Then flexor pollicis longus. Here will be extensor pollicis longus, and along with extensor pollicis longus, there will be extensor pollicis brevis. Why extensor pollicis brevis? Because flexor pollicis brevis was in the hand or in the thinner elements. While on the back side of the forearm, there are no muscles, intrinsic muscles. All the intrinsic muscles are here in the front. So for extensor pollicis brevis, therefore comes from this compartment, from back of forearm. There is no extensor intrinsic muscles here. Intrinsic means taking origin and insertion both inside the wrist, inside the hand. And there is abductor pollicis longus. We have already seen in the intrinsic muscles of the hand, there is abductor pollicis brevis. So abductor pollicis longus here. And all these muscles, like here, we had 5 superficial and 3 deep, right? All these muscles are also organized in the extensor compartment as 7 superficial muscles and 3 deep muscles. Oh, sorry, 5 deep muscles. 7 superficial muscles and 5 deep muscles. Okay. So what are the 7 superficial muscles? Let's see. 1, anconeus. Now this anconeus, it takes origin from the ulna. Oh, sorry, it takes origin from the lateral epicondyle of the humerus, and gets inserted on the ulna, on the lateral aspect of the olecranon process. The olecranon process of ulna. Okay, and its action is extension of elbow. Now, this is the muscle which doesn't cross the wrist joint. It causes extension of elbow, and so it is totally different from all these muscles. Okay, and anconeus and brachioradialis. This will cause extension of elbow, and it will be supplied by radial nerve. Now that makes it different again. Okay, the nerve supplying the medial head of triceps also supplies the radial nerve. So it's supplied by radial nerve to brachioradialis. Brachioradialis is also from the lateral epicondyle and the ridge above the lateral epicondyle. Okay, on the lateral supracondylar ridge of the humerus. I'm just writing lateral epicondyle here, but it is more from the lateral supracondylar ridge. Lateral supracondylar ridge of the humerus. This brachioradialis will get inserted on the lateral side of the radius. Gets inserted on the radius. This also doesn't cross the wrist, so it will not act on the wrist. Brachioradialis. This will not act on the, and this is also supplied by radial nerve. So all other muscles are supplied by posterior interosseous nerve, a branch of radial. There are only 2 to 3 muscles in this compartment which are supplied directly by radial nerve. Anconeus is one and brachioradialis is other. Okay, this brachioradialis is flexor of forearm in midbrain position. Basically, its action is it supinates pronated forearm and pronates a supinated forearm to bring it to mid-prone position. Okay, so bringing arm to mid-prone position is its main action, and thus causes flexor. It is flexor of elbow. Now comes our next muscle, that is extensor carpi radialis longus. Extensor carpi radialis longus. Now, this muscle also is different that it is supplied by the radial. Okay. Otherwise, its origin is again from the lateral supracondylar ridge of humerus and from the common extensor origin. I have told you that in the elbow, from the medial side is common flexor origin, lateral side is common extensor origin. So most of the muscles will be arising from the common extensor origin of the elbow. So this is supplied by the radial nerve, and it get inserted on the second metacarpum. As the name suggests, its actions will be extension of wrist, okay, and also abduction. So which is on the radial side will cause abduction, extension of wrist. Okay. Similarly, there will be extensor carpi radialis brevis. Now, this is supplied by the posterior interosseous nerve. Okay. This all now origins will be from common extensor origin. Common extensor origin. Okay. For medicos, this is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer. We talk about or medicose, it is common extensor origin. Okay, and then it gets inserted on the second and third metacarp. Second and third metacarp. Okay, posterior interosseous nerve. And the action will be same as this, extension of wrist and abduction. Now we come to our fifth muscle. The fifth muscle is extensor digitorum. Okay, it will be taking origin from CEO, common extension origin. Yeah. Its insertion is different. It gives rise to what is called as dorsal digital expansions. Dorsal digital expansions, which are kind of triangular. There is a triangular insertion, and at the end of these triangles, the interossei, the lumbicals, they get inserted. Okay, so it during its extension, it forms what is called as dorsal digital expansion, which gives slips. Okay, it gives intermediate slip and two collateral slips. Okay, intermediate slip will get inserted on the middle phalanx, and collateral they will get inserted on the distal phalanx. Okay, so at the proximal phalanx, it splits and gives rise to collateral slip. So it gives rise, its insertion is in the form of dorsal digital expansion, slightly complicated insertion. Okay, and as the name suggests, it will cause extension. But what? These were causing only extension of wrist. This will cause extension of wrist. It will cause extension of interphalangeal joint. It will cause extension of metacarpophalangeal joint. Okay. So extension of metacarpophalangeal, interphalangeal, and the wrist also. Now we move on to the muscle number 6. And extensor digiti minimi. Extensor digiti minimi, again CEO, common extensor origin. And the insertion, these origin insertions, some of these you should know, like you should read about dorsal digital expansion, how at the proximal phalanx it splits and into intermediate slip, which gets rise, which is inserted on the intermediate phalanx, and the two other slips, or rather intermediate gets inserted on the middle phalanx, and the two collateral slips get inserted on the distal phalanx. Okay. Extensor digiti minimi will get inserted at the base of the middle phalanx and the distal phalanx of the extents of the little finger. So from there, the insertion is on the phalanges of the little finger, now supplied by posterior interosseous nerve. Okay. The seventh muscle. The seventh muscle is extensor carpi ulnaris. Extensor carpi ulnaris. This extensor carpi ulnaris origin is CEO, from the CEO, also slight from the ulna, and it gets inserted on the base of the fifth metacarpal. Fifth metacarpal. So extensor carpi radialis longus is on second metacarpal. See, metacarpals are measured, named from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Metacarpals are here, phalanges are here. So on metacarpal 2 is extensor carpi radialis longus. Extensor carpi radialis is on 2 and 3. And of course, the ulnaris, because it is on the medial side, it will be on the fifth metacarpal. Okay. So it is on the fifth metacarpal. Action will be extension of wrist. And because it is on the ulnar side, it will cause adduction. It will cause adduction. Now with that, we move on to our deep muscles. Okay. The deep muscles. Deep muscle 1 is supinator. Okay. This supinator has multiple sites of origin. Okay. One from the lateral epicondyle of humerus. Okay. Takes from the radial collateral ligament, from the annular ligament. Okay. From the supinator crest of the ulna. Supinator crest of ulna. And from there, the insertion is on the radius. Okay. The insertion is on the lateral surface of radius, upper part of the lateral surface of radius. So upper part of the lateral surface of radius. So it will cause supination. See, this is pronation. It is caused by pronator teres, which runs like this. This muscle goes here, and it will cause pronation. Okay. So supinator is inserted on the lateral surface. So when it contracts, if supinator is inserted here, coming from backside, like this. So when it contracts, it will cause supination. Okay. So pronation. So this is attached and this is supinator. Right? So from the backside, it comes, the fibers come and are inserted on the lateral side of the radius. Okay. So the second is abductor pollicis longus. Abductor, now there will be now a series of muscle, abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, and extensor pollicis longus. So three in the deep muscles, one is supinator and three are attached to the thumb. Okay, and they all take origin from the posterior surface of radius and ulna. Okay, and their insertion points are different. Of course, extensor pollicis brevis will be only from the posterior surface of radius, and extensor pollicis longus is from the posterior surface of ulna, and abductor is from both radius and ulna. Okay, so mainly from the radius and ulna. And the fifth muscle, extensor indicis. Extensor indicis is from the posterior surface of ulna. Okay. So if we see, and of these muscles, of these five muscles, all five of them will be supplied by the posterior intraosseous nerve. All the five of them, their nerve supply is posterior intraosseous. Their nerve supply is posterior intraosseous nerve. Extensor indicis will cause extension of the index finger. Okay, it will cause extension of the index. These names suggest extensor pollicis longus and brevis. They'll cause extension of the thumb and wrist joint. Wrist will be there, and wrist, extension of wrist, index and extension of. The posterior intraosseous nerve supplies all these five muscles. Their insertions will slightly differ, like extensor indicis after taking origin from the posterior surface of ulna will be inserted on the index finger. Basically, it will join, like extensor digiti minimi also joins the tendon of the extensor digitorum. This also joins the extensor digitorum tendon, which is a superficial muscle. Okay. Extensor pollicis brevis, this will be getting inserted on the proximal phalanx. Brevis gets inserted on the proximal phalanx of the thumb. Extensor pollicis longus will get inserted at the base of distal phalanx. Now, don't be tense that you should know about all of this. The abductor pollicis longus, it will get inserted at the base of the first metacarpal, and so understand this. This gets inserted on the first metacarpal. This gets inserted on proximal phalanx. This gets inserted on distal phalanx. All of us know there is metacarpal first. Then there is, in the case of thumb, there is proximal phalanx and distal phalanx. So the abductor pollicis longus is here. Extensor pollicis brevis insertion is here, and extensor pollicis longus extension is here. Okay. And this joint. So now, again, taking an overview of these muscles of the posterior compartment. There are 7 superficial muscles and 5 deep muscles. The reason I am teaching you this today is to understand. I could have taught wrist joint earlier, but before going to wrist joint, we should be knowing these muscles, because these are the muscles which are going to do action on the wrist joint. Okay. So our next session will be on wrist joint. And before that, we have to understand these 7 superficial and 5 deep muscles. So we started by saying that at the back of forearm, there are 7 superficial and 5 deep muscles. Okay. And when we compared that in forearm, in the front, there were 5 superficial and 3 deep. In case of posterior surface of forearm, there will be 7 superficial and 5 deep. In front of forearm, there will be 5 superficial and 3 deep. So then we try to correlate. In the front of forearm, there were 5 superficial, pronator teres. So correspondingly, there is supinator. There was flexor carpi radialis in the front of forearm. There is extensor carpi radialis longus and brevis. There is flexor digitorum superficialis and profundus. Instead, there is take only extensor digitorum because there is no deep and superficial. So we just call it extensor digitorum. Palmaris longus, there is no correspondence. Flexor carpi ulnaris, there is extensor carpi ulnaris. Both the radialis will cause abduction, both the ulnaris will cause adduction. Okay. Then flexor pollicis longus, yes. For that, there were extensor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, 3 muscles. Okay. Literally, if you see the backside of the ulna, suppose this is ulna and backside of radius, the abductor pollicis longus origin is like this. The extensor pollicis brevis is here, extensor pollicis longus is here, and extensor indicis is here. Okay, this is how things, the muscles, they take origin from the posterior surface of the radius and ulna. Okay, so this is abductor pollicis longus. This is extensor pollicis brevis. This is extensor pollicis longus, and this is extensor indicis. Okay, and the supinator, it comes here from the behind and gets inserted here. So supinator insertion is on the lateral surface of the radius. Okay. Then we started studying these muscles and we said anconeus, different muscle because doesn't cause the bridge joint. Brachioradialis, different muscle, doesn't cause the bridge joint. This both, accommodius will cause extension of the elbow. Brachioradialis will cause, it brings the arm to mid-prone position from pronated of supinator weapon, and in mid-prone position, it is a good flexor also supplied by radial. Extensor carpi radialis longus and brachioradialis, they apart from the common extensor origin, take origin from the lateral supracondylar ridge. Extensor carpi radialis longus takes origin from the lateral supracondylar ridge, lower 1/3 to upper 2/3. Then there is extensor carpi radialis brevis. There is longus and brevis. One gets inserted on second metacarpal, other gets on third. So with this extensor carpi radialis longus or brevis, they will be causing extension and abduction, out of which this longus is supplied by radial nerve. So radial nerve, khatam over here, first 3 muscles. After that, the remaining all muscles in the superficial and deep compartment are supplied by posterior interosseous nerve. Okay, so extensor carpi radialis brevis. Okay, it will be supplied by posterior interosseous nerve. Extensor digitorum, it takes origin from the common extensor origin. Okay, common extensor origin, or CEO. Its insertion is slightly different, called as dorsal digital expansion. Okay, at the proximal phalanx, the tendon splits into intermediate and 2 collateral slip. Intermediate slip gets inserted on middle phalanx, collateral slip gets inserted on the distal phalanx, and to the corners of this triangular space are inserted lumbricals and interossea. Extensor digiti minimi gets attached to the little finger. This causes extension of the exclusive extension of the probably to make this sign of going to the bathroom. That time this muscle is active. Okay, only extension of the little finger. Okay, so that may be the purpose. Extensor carpi ulnaris causes the extension of the wrist. This is the extension, and it will also cause the adduction. Okay. Then the deep muscles, we talked about supinator. Then it takes origin from behind. It goes from behind. So when the pronation happens like this, it is happening by pronator teres, which is running like this. So when it contracts, it will cause pronation. So it is running on the front side. Okay, so it will cause pronation. But if pronator teres is on the front side like this, the supinator is like my finger getting inserted here. So whenever pronation happens, supinator will pull it back to the normal position like this. Okay. That's how the supinator acts. Okay. So it is also supplied by posterior introitus now. And then we saw that these remaining muscles, abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, extensor pollicis longus, they are taking origin from the posterior surfaces of radius and ulna. Okay. And abductor pollicis longus getting inserted on the metacarpal, extensor pollicis brevis getting inserted on the middle phalanx, on the proximal phalanx of the thumb. Thumb only there are two phalanges. And extensor pollicis longus on the distal phalanx. Okay, they will cause extension of the wrist and extension of the thumb. Abductor pollicis longus will cause the abduction of the thumb. Extensor indicis will cause. Now this is for this exclusive action, right? We do this pointing many times. Okay, so this is about an overview of the muscles of the posterior compartment. We have to remember that of this, only 3 muscles are directly supplied by radial now. Remaining 4 superficial and 5 deep muscles. The remaining 9 muscles are supplied by posterior introitus now, which is a continuation of radial now only. Okay, of these muscles, Anconeus is different because it doesn't cross the bridge joint. Brachyradialis doesn't cross the bridge joint. Supinator doesn't cross the bridge joint. Okay, it will just help him. It acts on the radioulnar joint. Okay, so the supinator also doesn't cross the bridge joint. Remaining most of them, they cross the bridge joint. They will cause extension of the bridge joint and some other actions like the radialis will cause abduction, the ulnaris will cause adduction. Okay. Abduction of abductor pollicis longus will cause abduction of the thumb. Okay. So with that, we end the session. We should be knowing the names of these muscles. We should be knowing only the names and dorsal digital expansion in case of extensor digitorum. So this extension, this insertion is important. And the nerve supply that only 3 of them are supplied by the radial nerve, the anconeus, brachyradialis, and extensor carpiradialis longus. Remaining all are supplied by the posterior introitus nerve, which is a branch of. Okay, so that is the overview of the muscles of the posterior compartment of the forearm. Okay, thank you.